So in most cases, students don't know what to do next. Even if you have asked your supervisor, your potential supervisor, I know some of you still looking for supervisor or still looking for topics. So just to give you an idea how to start your preparation for your FYP. Can you see the slide? Boleh? Okay, so some of you have requested for supervision under me. Thank you for your trust and confidence. So I just want to show an overview what topic that most of my students propose or I propose to them for the past 3 years. Okay, so this is in 2023. So if you look at the topic in 2023, I have around 16 students. So mainly, some of you have proposed similar to this. So the summary of this is that they are looking into CNN, the VGG, LSTM. They focus on hyperparameter tuning. So which means that they say this is one of the problems that they are focusing. And then they compare the performance and they are looking into vision and sentiment analysis. Okay, so they are looking into vision, for example, face recognition. They're looking at healthcare, image classification, and so on. Or they're looking into the text. So in 2023, most of them looking into single machine learning or deep learning hybrid. Okay. These are the common theme. So the potential area that you might be looking at. We also look at the model benchmarking. Model benchmarking means you are comparing 3 or 4 models, or you are combining a few models to become an ensemble. Okay. So the summary for this is that project will primarily focus on model-centric, the model, and how do we improve the accuracy, or how we compare the architecture and fine-tune. How do we optimize? Okay. So this is in 2023. So in 2024, in 2024, so I have around 15 students. So 15 students, so you can look at the method that they use, like D3, deep learning, machine learning, CNN, and many other things. So this is the summary. So if you look at the common theme, so they're looking into healthcare, customer behavior modeling, forecasting, fraud detection, and smart agriculture. Okay, so at this 2024, they start focusing on the ensemble model and GA, how to optimize. Okay, and one of the students looking into large language model. So this is in 2024. So basically, they are looking into the impact-driven AI application they apply machine learning to solve practical healthcare, economic, and agriculture. Okay, last year, I have 22. Okay, so if you look at the topic, you must have the problem, the method that you want to use, and also the method, and also for what purpose. For instance, you want to do benchmarking, or you want to automate, or you want to enhance, or you want to be able to explain the prediction, and so on. So if I summarize this, they are looking into Gen AI already. So and also looking at the XAI, explainable AI. How do you apply this for your model? And since ChatGPT is very popular now, they are looking into what are the other models variant of ChatGPT, for instance, the transformer or hybrid, and they're looking into combining IoT and also digital signal. So the area is still the same, looking into the healthcare, forecasting food price, and so on. So basically, they are looking into XAI now, and ethical AI, and also the Gen AI. Okay? So that is the evolution. If you look at here, so the focus is in 2023 model performance, and then how do you, because last time we just asked students to take one model and then compare the model. But in 2024, we want the student to have like what area you want to do, for instance, in health, and why. What is the reason? Provide justification. No? And then last year, more on advanced AI. Okay? So if you look at the architecture, also this is very basic. So 2024, they start combining few models, and then this one they are looking into the transform model or hybrid deep learning. So the AI maturity, last time just experiment, and then now you want to apply in certain domain, and this is more into comparing the model, comparing the result, and so on. So we have this 4 domain. So lately we have more people like to look into this one, and then how do we sustain, and then Gen AI, and then the XAI. Last time very limited, none, right? Or now become more. So if you look at the trend now, you need to look into what are the available trend now that you can integrate with the proposed system. For instance, now we have XAI or LLM, or now we have the agentic AI. Okay, so these are the 3 areas. Beside machine learning, beside deep learning, how do you want to make your research different from others? This is how you want. Okay. So I also share the template. My template is a bit different from what the faculty have distributed, because initially the one that mine was adapted, but they have simplified to become less long. They make it easier for the student to fill in all the blank and then submit. But for my student, I ask them to fill in all this yellow, because I want the student to realize how difficult it is to do the project and to expect the kind of work that required. So I don't want students to just fill in the blank, propose the topic, and then later on project one, they start to feel stressed because they are not ready. So the reason why I put until the proposed methodology and then how do you do the experiment setup is to allow students to visualize or to ready to what are expected in project one. Okay? And most of them, they told me how to do all of this. So today I will briefly explain. So how do you fill in the template that I have given to you? Okay? So the first one is the project title. So it must be related to research topic. So you need to mention the method and in which domain. So for instance, this one is, this is the domain. This is the domain. So this is the method. And this is the research that you want to do. Would you be able to integrate XAI for fraud detection using deep learning? Okay. So your title must be very specific. You cannot have a generic, you cannot say in financial crime because that is too generic. So you need to focus. Okay. You can stop me whenever you have any question. Okay. So the second one is, just if you go back here. So in the template, I ask you to list a brief introduction or background. So this is just to mention some of this, like the importance of the study, why the topic matter, and then what are the key issue or challenge, highlighting the problem, because this one will lead to the problem statement, your problem statement. Okay. So basically, you just introduce what are the current situation now, why this is important for you to do, and then what are the challenges. But all of this, you must support. You must support with reference. You cannot simply generate the text and then where you get the fact from. How do you support this? Okay, so you must have reference. You must have reference. Huh? Okay, so this is your introduction. So the introduction should lead to your problem statement. So what is problem statement? It's a clear description of the issue or gap that needs to be addressed. So this is the problem that you want to address in your project. So what is the problem? Why this is important? Who will be affected? And what are the limitations of existing technique? Okay, so this is, so how do we construct this problem statement? Okay, so I give you contoh lah. Okay, based on your introduction, you can say that, okay, current fraud detection system in digital payment often fail to detect emerging scam pattern in real time. So the key is this one, in real time. Okay, so you need to find out what is the problem, why they cannot detect in real time. So leading to financial losses and reduce consumer trust. Okay, so this is statement. So when we say problem statement, one statement only. So that means before the problem statement, you need to support this statement from here. So from all this lead to the problem statement. Okay, so this is one of the control. So the second example is okay. They say that the current deep learning models for medical diagnosis often operate in as black box. Black box means you don't know why certain patient is classified as positive or negative. So for that, saying that you will have difficulty to interpret the prediction. Okay, so that is the problem. Okay, contoh satu lagi. Okay, contoh satu lagi is existing crop disease detection system typically require internet connectivity and cloud processing. So this is due to the limitation of this connectivity. So can you design a framework that can solve this problem? So the this limitation has caused problem to the farmer in the rural area with poor network access. Okay. Next one, okay, we also have these problems where banking struggle to identify sophisticated and evolving financial crime pattern. Okay, meaning that when someone want to hack into the system or someone trying to do financial crime, so normally they're looking at rule-based pattern. Rule-based pattern means if they do A and B, let me. So if they want to do, if they're doing A and B, so they commit crime 1. If they do B plus C plus D, they do crime 2. But nowadays they are evolving the pattern here. So we cannot use the rule anymore. So how can we use machine learning that learn by themselves? Looking into how do we investigate evolving financial crime? Okay. Okay, so the fifth example is okay, current social media monitoring tools are often fail to accurately detect toxic. Toxic means negative or like hasutan, something that can impact the peaceful environment of certain community. Okay, so di sini we are unable to detect this one in a multilingual environment. So now at the moment we only have English ataupun Malay. Tapi what if you have a mix of English and Malay? So the current system now able to detect for English or for Malay, but in most of the cases we use bahasa pasar, mix of language. So this is the problem. Of course, before we start all these problem statement, we need to support. So meaning that you need to find all the resources that we can use to support this problem statement. Okay. So sepatutnya you read all the paper, all the journal, then based on your finding, you will construct this problem statement. Okay. So based on this problem statement, then okay, how do I construct the research objective or the project objective? Okay, so in order to do that, we need to construct this research question. So based on your problem statement, so you will construct this research question, which is a specific question that the study aims to answer based on the problem. So they're highly related to your problem. So it defines what the research will investigate and what solution or knowledge is being sought. Okay. So if you want to look at the, saya bagi contoh juga di sini. Okay. So for instance, this one, this is the first one tuh yang dealing with how do we detect scam in real time. Okay. So the research question that we can ask is something like this. How can machine learning technique improve real-time detection? What features can be considered to detect this real-life detection? And then what is the performance of the proposed fraud detection model that we propose here? So there are tiga RQ. So you must have at least 3 research objective or project objective. So that's how you construct. That's how you, from the introduction, you define your problem statement, and then from the problem statement, you can ask question, and then based on this, you can construct your research objective. Okay. Okay. Let's see another example. So this one is evolving financial crime pattern. Because we are not able to detect or identify them. So one of the research question is how can advanced AI model detect evolving financial crime? So how? And then what role do behavioral concepts play in? So the second one always looking at the features used in the data modeling. So the most important asset that you need to have is your data set. So based on your data set, what features are most important? Okay. So and then the third one is, can we apply X AI to support the financial investigator? So like I mentioned just now, you need to put X AI or LLM or agentic AI to meet the current trend. Okay. Okay. So based on this, okay, another example is the one with low connectivity and limited cloud processing. So we are looking into this. How can Edge AI? So Edge AI is a very light program that can be stored in a chip. Okay? So how can Edge AI enable offline crop disease detection? Means they are stored at the sensor. Okay, so and then we say what lightweight deep learning model are suitable, and then how effective. So this is the performance. Okay, so this is your RQ in relation to your problem statement. Okay, okay, now bye. So now we look at the research objective. Okay, so now for at the moment you have introduction, you have background, then you claim what is your problem statement. So based on the problem statement, you brainstorm what are the RQ, and then the research objective must be a clear and specific goal that describe what a study aims to achieve in order to address the research problem. So always go back to the research problem and answer the research question. Okay, so we go back to this. Okay, so we have the problem, we have the RQ, and then so the first RQ is how can machine learning technique improve? So we are talking about machine learning. So the first objective is to of course, this one can be ignored. So this is more on the data. So the first one is to develop machine learning base. So this is referring to this. And then the second one is to evaluate the model. So this is RQ3. Okay, and this one can be answered here when you collect and process digital payment transaction data. So the RQ1 can be answered in RO1 because you know what are the features, right? So so 3 and 4 is basically the number 3 lah. You can compare, you can evaluate and compare. So whenever you write your proposal, so it must look like this, all interconnected. So you cannot simply just write your FYP proposal. Okay, let's take a look at the second one. So the second one, remember that we are looking into evolving financial crime pattern. So our RQ first is how can advanced AI model detect evolving financial crime pattern. The second one is what are the features that we have. And then the second one is how we can integrate XAI into the model that we have. So based on this, then we know already, okay, to develop AI base, to evaluate, and then to incorporate the XAI method. So all this, they refer back to your RQ. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the third one. Okay, this one is how can AGI enable what deep learning model that are suitable and then how effective. So we're looking into the performance. Okay, so of course, to build the model, we need to have the data set so you can focus on certain industry, certain crops that you want to look into, and then you design and implement lightweight, and then you need to develop a prototype mobile or offline crop. So this one you need to buy the device, and then to evaluate the accuracy, efficiency, and usability. Okay, so you got the idea, lah. You have the problem statement, the RQ is the question that you want to ask by look, and then you can form the research objective based on your RQ. Okay. Okay. So the next one is what should you include in your research methodology? So when you have your research objective, when you have your research question, then the problem now is how do you achieve the research objective? So this is where you outline the step-by-step, what are the processes involved. Okay, so research methodology is a systematic framework of method, tools, and procedure used to conduct research and solve a defined problem. So we have few things here. So you need to identify the problem that you will solve. So that means in your research question, research methodology, you have to indicate which part of the diagram will solve or will achieve your research objective. Okay? So you want to tell, okay, what data you have, how do you clean them, how do you do the data augmentation to increase the population and so on. Okay. And then what algorithm and model you want to implement. What are the architecture? Are you using Microsoft or AWS and so on? Okay. And then once you decide the platform, then you need to develop the prototype. So this one include user interface, the system integration, and so on. Okay, you need to have something to show. Okay, and then you do the testing and validation for all the parameters that you have chosen, and then based on that, you can do discussion on the evaluation, and then deployment documentation. So all this you briefly mentioned in your methodology. The reason why I want you to go through this because I want you to have like milestone that you need to achieve in project 1 and project 2. So in project 1, you supposed to do up to 3.5. So meaning that you have started implementation and you have some result. Okay, so that is the target for your FYP 1. So the rest of this is in FYP 2. Okay. Okay. So having in mind what you need to do. So now the challenge is what topic you want to choose. Okay. So the following teams are underrepresented across all 3 years. So they didn't do any cybersecurity. They didn't do any federated learning. This is more into how do we keep the privacy of the user. Agent-based AI, real-time AI, AI plus blockchain, machine learning ops and deployment. How do you make it much faster? Edge AI. This is more into human center, means design a seamless or most user-friendly system. And then this one is looking into the policy. How do we comply with the AI policy that we have? Okay. So the reason is here. Okay. So so you can look into this payment fraud detection, anti-money laundering, scam, phishing. So we are focusing now. It's better to go into cybersecurity and financial crime prevention. Why? Because the whole world is governed by capitalism. Okay? Where who got the money will have more power because they can buy, they can set up data center with the cooling system. For that, they can run AI and so on. Okay, so that's why now, because in the past 3 years, most of the students are looking into agriculture, healthcare, and so on. You can focus on that one, but you need to add more features like XAI or use agentic AI and so on. Okay, but if you want to have something new or something which is not many people use, you can use this. Okay. So I think that's all. So I promise you not more than 45 minutes. So now I open for any Q&A. If you have any question that you want to ask me. Ramai juga nih. So don't be shy, don't be afraid. Let me share the new. This is the template. Let me share this one. Okay, so boleh nampak. So the project title. Okay. The project title here. I cannot see man. Okay. The project title. And then for even if you do research, at the end of the day, you need to produce prototyping. So it doesn't matter if you use product development or research. At the end of the day, you need to produce a prototype in which user can test or use your model to classify or to forecast and so on. Okay, so you also need to briefly introduce, and then what is the problem statement, and then what is the project objective. Of course, your project objective must follow your research question. Project scope, right? Research methodology, step by step that I mentioned to you, and you can conclude what is the expected output that you get from here. And of course, you need to list all the most recent reference. For the proposal, you need to get at least 30 reference. So once you get this one, you submit to me, then I can review what need explanation or more comprehensive description. Then once okay, I sign, then we submit. So since you are free now, so best time is to do it before the semester starts. Okay. Any question? So if you are going to other supervisor, so you may not use this. I think you will use the simplest one. This one. Can you see this? So you have problem statement, you have objective and scope. That's all. You don't have methodology. You don't have introduction. Okay. They say, please submit one page, because they don't want student to have 5 pages or 6 pages. So the most you can have is 2 pages lah. I will share the slide in the IR course so that I can later on I will close. I will also those who request for my supervision, I will provide a link for you to join the group for further instruction. Okay. I think that's all. So 45 minutes.
Doctor, sorry, doctor, I have a question. Hello?